Hey guys, welcome to another Q&A. Q&A is something that nobody voted for. Nobody wants to see more of, but it's just a necessity. So I did look at what you voted for on the last question I posted. So it was just a sec. I just want to make sure I read it properly. For those of you who haven't seen, check it out and vote, please. So it was basically if you are or were a client, what is or was your biggest struggle? And then you have a couple of options: patience, working on my vibration, or something else. So patience and working on my vibration have gotten equal votes. So these are the things you struggle with. So these are the things we're going to be helping with. Well, I will be. I'm just one person. Okay, so first I want to address some questions about spells. So if you think you need more work done, um, you can ask, and I will always tell you if there's a need for it at the moment or not, or whether you should wait. Because more often than not, you will just need to wait a bit, and then later we can just see whether you need more or not. So, as you know, I will often refuse to do work if it's not necessary. Also, with the readings, you already know that. So, I'll always be honest and will only, do work if it's needed. I know that some clients want more pushes to their targets. And, in some cases, that is necessary if it's a really hard situation. If it's not a really hard situation, however, then it's not necessary and I will refuse to do it. But the best thing is to ask, because every situation is different and everything's different. So if you're thinking about it, ask. Don't just be like, oh, I have to get this. Because, I will not always accept it. Okay. So let's see. Oh, yeah. And how long do spells last? This is something that gets asked a lot. So they last around 3 months. Now, this is again not like a definite thing, because they will still give some pushes after that, most likely for a couple more months, but it will be like way less. But they will be potent for around 3 months. So yeah, that is that. Now, I've had some questions that I want to talk more about. Okay, I just need to find it. Okay, I think it would help if you were to do a video or some sort of meditation, if you want, about the topic of fear. Fear is what blocks us all. From fear comes hate and all that. That's the thing I have been struggling the most, and I think a lot of other clients feel that too. Fear of failing, fear of not being enough, fear of being wrong. In a certain way, the meditation videos talk about this, but I think it a video especially about the topic would help a lot of people. Okay. Okay. So, yes, majority of the things on the channel are actually about fear, because it all comes from fear. Low vibration comes from fear. So, all the things we talk about are basically to get rid of your fear as well. And yes, meditations are about fear too. But, this client wanted me to talk more about fear. So, I'm going to do that actually. Here's the thing about fear. So, obviously, the reason why you don't think you're good enough, and the reason why you don't think you are the chosen one, you can be chosen, all of those things, they come from fear. Fear is behind it. Fear is behind all of this, obviously. How are fears created? So fears are created from situations where something like that happened, and now you were afraid that it's going to be every single time. They're also created by your parents because maybe they were like very, overly caring. So they were always like, oh, be careful about this and this. And they just installed a lot of fears inside of you. And that's pretty common and very normal. I mean, it's not normal, but it's what happens to all of us. So we have fears from our parents, we have fears from, our bad experiences, and we just have fears from like our experiences as kids as well, little things when we were not chosen, when we were not good enough, all of those stuff, they just stay in our brain, and then we have fears. And what are fears really? So fear is that thing that will trigger you. So everything around the vibrational talk is about fear, actually. Fear is the thing that will trigger you. Fear is that thing that will sabotage you. So basically, self-sabotage comes from fear. You're afraid you're not going to be chosen. You're afraid that you're going to be, abandoned. You're afraid that you are not good enough. You're jealous on other people because you are afraid that they will be chosen. You're afraid that they're better than you. All of it is about fear, okay? Fear is there to sabotage you, basically. So let's dive into fear a bit more. You know what's funny? I just paused because I got a message from one of the clients, and it's funny because I just said nobody voted for more Q&As, but I'm doing it anyways. And this client said, actually, I enjoy your Q&As, so please don't get rid of them. LOL. I'm filming one right now. Don't worry, they're staying. Okay, so where were we with fear? So the reason why you are afraid is basically just what I told you. You had bad experiences and you are now thinking you're gonna always have a bad experience, or your parents installed some sort of fear inside of you and now your brain is just programmed to be afraid. But like I said, fears are sabotaging you. Fear is something you just need to let go. And there are different techniques that we do on the channel to let go of those fears. One of them is through meditations and, vibrational work, working on your shadow, realizing what you're afraid of and then just, facing that fear. So most fears are very, very irrational. Okay. And yes, there's always a possibility that your fear is legit, absolutely. But it's more likely that it's not. Also, if we were actually listening to our fears, what would happen? So imagine you meet someone and your fear is like, oh no, you're not good enough, they're gonna leave you, just don't even get into it. So basically, if we would listen to our fear all the time, we would never even get into relationships, and we would never ever experience love, because love is something that's risky, right? Love is something that you can lose. Love is something that doesn't depend just on you. It depends on other people as well. And we can't control other people. So this is something that we are afraid of. We are very much afraid as humans that of the things we can't control, because that's where we feel unsafe. But the point of everything is that you need to start feeling safe just inside of yourself, just the way you are. And when you're safe and secure, then you're not afraid of anything, because whatever happens, you can deal with it. You will always have yourself, and you will always be fine. And you just know that fear is something that's irrational. So it doesn't really sound logical, and it's something you shouldn't listen to. Okay, letting go of fear is very, very important, because like I said, if we would all rely on our fears, no one would ever get in a relationship. No one would ever fall in love because you would be like, oh, this can end badly. I'm not doing it because I'm afraid it's going to end badly. There's a chance it will, so I'm not even going to do it. Yeah, there's a chance it will end badly. There's also a chance it will end good. So when you're afraid, just focus on the positive aspects, the positive things that can happen, not the negative ones. Because yes, of course, that can happen, and you need to, accept that. You need to be realistic. It's true, but it may not happen, maybe, and you will not know whether it would happen or not if you don't even try. So if people would like just rely on fear, there would be no babies, there would be none of you guys. So obviously, it's just fear is honestly dumb. Fear is just dumb, and that's just what it is. And letting go of it is a big part of your vibrational work because fear is extremely low vibrational. So basically, fear is telling you one version that can happen, and there's a whole lot of other versions that can also happen, but fear is only telling you the negative one, the worst case scenario. And the worst case scenario rarely happens. It doesn't happen all the time. It's not that common that the worst case scenario will happen. Yes, it can happen. It's an option, it's a possibility. But fear is only telling you one possibility, and there's so much more. So instead of focusing on the worst case scenario, like we humans like to do, we do, right? We do. We should be focusing on other possibilities, best case scenario, or like even moderate case scenario, just not the worst one, the more realistic case scenario, you know. So I don't know if you have any specific questions about fear, but that's what I'm gonna film for now, because I don't want to make this too long, because we have another question to answer. So this is a bit of a weird question. Can I ask about your last meditation, the late night text one? I didn't exactly understood it. So I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but anyways, the meditation is another communication meditation. So it's another option of a communication meditation. So if you have a communication spell going, or even a love spell, if you are in no contact with a person, this is the type of meditation that is for those who are in no contact with their ex, or the person they are doing spells for. So basically, if there is no contact, this is the one. This is the one to get that, to help your brain get into the vibration of receiving that initial contact. So if it's been a longer period of time where there's no contact, or even if you're blocked by this person, this is like a cute little meditation that is supposed to get you into the vibration of this being possible, and basically to stop blocking it. Because as you know, with our fears, with all sorts of stuff, we tend to block spells. So that's basically what it's for. So it's a communication one, but it's more for people who are in no contact or blocked. I mean, if you're blocked, you're in no contact. So it's the same thing, but I just wanted to add it in. Now, I will say that this one I have not tested before. So this is like the first time I did something like that. I already mentioned that. It was just something that came to me probably from my spirit guides, as everything. And I just did it. I have not tested it on anyone. So it's not harmful. Don't get me wrong. It's not harmful, but I'm not exactly, it hasn't been tested. I always test everything. Meditations, I test spells really, really rigorously. This I've only tested on myself. So I don't have an ex or a person, a special person, so it's a bit different. But I did listen to the meditation, I think just a couple of times, 1 or 2 days, I'm not sure. And more than a couple of times. I did listen to it. It's a short one, so I listened to it numerous times, and I did actually get a late night text. So I don't have a spell going, so I don't have anyone specific. So that's a bit different when you listen to a random meditation and you have nobody specific. You will still attract some results. Your energy will simply attract something because that's what it does. However, since I don't have anyone specific, it's not really tested properly. I don't have a spell going, I don't have anyone specific. But still, a random guy has, not, I know the person, but it's nobody I'm interested in, or anyone I had something to do with, nothing like that. I don't even properly know the person, but the person has sent me a late night text, and we are not usually in contact. So basically, I did receive a late night text. So that's that's what happened basically. And I'm waiting for your results, really. And if you don't want to use that one, that's perfectly fine, because there are two communication meditations that are really good. And you know this is just a third option. Because um, these type of things, it's gonna depend who's gonna like what better, and for which situation something will be better, because these are just general ones, they're not customed. So I just wanted to give you more options, basically. So that is what it's about. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna end it now. It's been 17 minutes. Have a great weekend. Bye.